Welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. And that feels really good to say again, even if I didn't get to go to the movies, because I live in New York and the movie theaters are still closed here. We're starting to get new releases again. Some of them are releasing PVOD. Some of them are going, Some of them are going into theaters. But, there's certain movies that I want to see that are going to be coming eventually to VOD, but not right now. Tenet is theater only. And I gotta say, people on social media are being very good about Tenet. They're not spoiling it or anything. That's not the same with The New Mutants, which we've waited for like a decade and a half for, and it turned out to be absolute dog shit. So people are like, look at this, I've just been dunking on it for like the last week, which I'm fine with, because the movie does look awful. And based on what I've heard, there's nothing really redeeming about it. Again, it's another example of fantastic casting by Fox, and then just completely failing the execution on who these characters are. So, one of the there were other movies that came out premium video on demand, but there weren't movies that, when I do the podcast, I have AMC A-List, as you know, if you listen to the podcast, because that's how I watch these movies. I'll go to I'll pay $23 a month. I'll see 3 movies a week, and as long as you see more than 2 in a month, it pays for itself. But movie theaters were closed. So then the option became, do I pay $20 to watch this movie once? And there were very few movies that really felt like they should, be that. Because, I will eventually watch The High Note, which looks pretty good. I wasn't going to pay $20 to watch The Way Back. I ended up buying the DVD. Bloodshot wasn't worth $20. I wasn't going to pay $20 for Scoob, but now it's on HBO Max. And I'm weighing whether or not to buy Mulan. Because Mulan will be on Disney Plus for free in December, so why am I going to pay for it now if it's going to be free in December? And I'm looking at this whole thing, and it's like, well, I haven't seen a new movie in a while, so I decided to try out this premium video on demand and try it with Bill and Ted Face the Music, the third Bill and Ted movie. Now, I'm not the biggest Bill and Ted fan, to begin with. Not to say I don't like it, but, my how do I put this? My relationship with this movie, with the previous two, is basically they exist, and I acknowledge that they exist, but beyond the fact that they exist, I don't really engage with them too much. It's not like I have, a desire to watch them over and over again. I watched the first Bill and Ted, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, in social studies class, actually, which, for those of you outside the United States, should give a perfect glimpse into how we learn world history in high school in the United States. And Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, I saw bits and pieces of, but I've never watched it in its entirety. But I knew enough to kind of get a firm enough understanding for watching this movie. So, and really, I don't think you really need to watch either of the previous ones. This one kind of stands alone and works on its own. Where it's it kind of does a quick summation in the beginning, where it's you get brought up to speed, so that way you know where you are in the story, and then, that's all you really need to know to get going. And it's a very cute movie. This is a movie that I would have seen in theaters, and it would have been one of those ones that I kind of put on the back burner, where it's it's not my priority this week. When this movie was supposed to come out, I think it was supposed to come out against something else, where it would be the Saturday morning episode, or the Sunday episode. Because the Thursday or Friday episode would definitely be whatever the bigger release was. I think it was opening against either Tenet or Wonder Woman 1984 originally. But this would have gotten the back burner to that. But I'm glad I watched this, and I in the grand scheme of things, as one person watching a movie, justifying paying $20 to rent the movie and watch it once, maybe twice in a 24-hour period, or a 48-hour period, is not, it's hard to do in a lot of cases. But this one feels like it was worth that. which is saying a lot, because, like, you're not getting the full theater experience. And in a lot of cases, you're going to buy this movie, you're going to watch it on your phone, you're going to watch it on your laptop, you're going to watch it, on a TV, which, let's face it, watching it on a TV in your house is not the same experience as watching a movie in the theater. And I'm not saying one's better or worse than the other. I'm saying that when you watch a movie at home, you're surrounded by distractions. The surround sound system is, except for unless you have a tens of $1,000s sound system and a very expensive TV, your video quality and your audio quality is not going to be the same as watching it in the theater. And then there's the distractions that you get into, and anything else going on in the house. And like usually when you're in a movie theater, you turn your phone off, so even that's not there to distract you the entire way through the movie. So it's just a vastly different viewing experience to view the movie in a theater versus view the movie at home. And this one, I feel like, was worth paying the $20 to view the movie at home. And it's got such a great message for everything that's going on right now with the coronavirus, with unrest, with everything. This movie, like, the message resonates. The message is a simple one. They just, like, be good to each other. Both Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter do a great job in this movie, because not only do they play, Bill and Ted, now aged up to be the same age that they should be in real life based on where they were in the 80s when the movie first came out, but they also play different versions of themselves in the future that are, like, just as, like I don't want to say dumb, but, like, yeah, dumb, but, like, they're still playing, like, different variations on the same character. And they play off of, like, each other very well. And themselves to an extent. The new cast is all great. I loved Bridget Lundy Payne. They did a great job in that. I think Samara Weaving also did a great job. They both, like, you can watch this movie and you believe that they're Bill and Ted's kids. They just match so well. Both the wives, which were Erin Hayes, who was on the Not King of the Queens show that Kevin James had, and Jayma Max, who was in something, I can't remember what, but she was on some TV show in a recurring role. She looked very familiar. But they both, were great as the two princesses from the 14th century that they married. And there's a nice little George Carlin, hologram that they can use to kind of pay homage to him, even though he's departed. And it's such a movie that, in the grand scheme of things, it might crack the top 10 in a normal year. But it feels like it means so much more with the pandemic and everything. So if you need a movie to watch and you want to pay to watch a movie, and I would please say pay for this movie, don't pirate it, don't do anything like that. This movie is so worth your time to watch. It's so good. You can tell everyone involved loved every second of making it. And it's such a great movie. Definitely check it out. You can get it on Amazon for $20. You can rent it. You get it for a rental. You get it for 30 days to start, and then once you start it, you have 48 hours to finish it. Or you can buy it outright for $25. Personally, I would say just buy it outright for $25, because you're really only paying $5 more than just, because it's like if you pay $20, you're going to pay $20 for it in a month and a half anyway, to own it digitally. If you pay $25, you own it digitally now, you're paying $5 extra to own it now instead of own it whenever they put it, regular on VOD. So definitely check this movie out. It's very good. I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did, especially considering my, I'm be honest, indifference to the franchise prior to this point. But it's definitely worth watching. So we'll be back with another new episode at some point in the near future. I don't know what our situation is going to be, because we have no guidance in New York as to when, movie theaters are reopening. like we just got gyms reopening within the last week, so we haven't quite gotten any guidance yet on when movie theaters can reopen, and when they do reopen, what does that look like. So hopefully we get that guidance in the near future, because I would like to see Tenet, and we're waiting to see what goes on with Tenet, with Mulan, with any number of other things. Hell, if they do like the old movies just to get asses in seats, I'll do a beware of spoilers about Empire Strikes Back. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, and we'll see where we end up with this. So until the next time a movie comes out that I can justify spending $20 on, if not the movie theater's reopening, have a great rest of your week.